Lone Star Community Radio presents the Lone Star Radio Hour. For the next hour, you will hear locally produced radio plays from different groups around Montgomery County. If you're interested in the Lone Star Radio Hour and you want us to run one of your programs that you produced, just contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com. If you are interested in recording your own show here at the studio, you can just contact us. And we're also looking for sponsorships for this time slot. So, again, just contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com. You can also visit the Lone Star Radio Hour online at irlonestar.com/LSRH. That's irlonestar.com/LSRH. For all the plays on on-demand format. The following radio play you're about to hear is produced by the Players Theater Company in Conroe, Texas. For more information on the Players, check them out online at www.owentheater.com/players.
Live from the Owen Theater, located in the glittering arts and entertainment district of downtown Conroe, Texas, comes the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour. This is Dennis Nelson, your series host. We're back from a short hiatus to bring you one of America's most cherished dark comedies. Arsenic and Old Lace was first written as a play by Joseph Kesselring in 1939. It became so popular, only a couple of years passed before the film by Frank Capra, starring Cary Grant, made it famous. It was also a hit on radio, produced by the series Best Plays, which we will bring you tonight. But before we do, permit me to introduce our stellar cast of new and familiar players. Starring as Aunts Abby and Martha are the enchanting Chandra Rhodes and the magnificent Tanya Terry. The delightful Glenn Egley joins us as Teddy. With us tonight as Jonathan and as Officer Brophy, the versatile Kelly Strang. Debonair Drew Schultz appears as Dr. Einstein. The hard-working Darrell Egley will be with us tonight playing Lieutenant Rooney and the Right Reverend Harper. The riveting Roderick Ost joins us as Mortimer. And the captivating Diana Egley stars as Elaine, serving also as tonight's director. Well, you have sort of a full plate here, don't you, Diana?
Well, it's not the way that we planned it, but it all seemed to work out just fine.
Actually, I don't understand at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, all right. Take a moment now to sit back as we visit this kooky, mixed-up family.
Shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July.
On a quiet street under the arching elms in the town of Brooklyn, New York, the old Brewster home stands in dignified and rather over-decorated glory. The gas mantles are still in the hall, although electricity was installed several years ago. It's tea time, and Miss Abby Brewster pours. The minister is visiting, and Miss Abby and her nephew Teddy are most attentive.
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, Miss Abby. I always eat too many of your biscuits to taste the lovely jam.
But you haven't tried the quince. We always put a little apple in with it to take the tartness out. We'll send you over a jar. Teddy, more tea?
What? Oh, bully! Miss Abby, I've been meaning to speak with you about your nephew. Mortimer, I mean.
Oh, yes. I understand he's taking Elaine to the theater again tonight. We're so happy it's Elaine that Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Miss Abby, I'll be frank with you. I do not entirely approve of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater. A drama critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I fear some of them do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes. He writes awful things about the theater. But you can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about, and then they just made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But, as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway, and in the meantime, it is a living. Oh, now, who do you suppose that is? I'm coming!
Oh, hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Officer Brophy? Come in.
Thank you. Afternoon, sir.
Sir, what news have you brought me?
Colonel, I have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, sir. At ease.
We've come for the Christmas toys, Miss Brewster.
That's a splendid job you men do, fixing toys for the children.
Yeah, well, it gives us something to do when we sit around the station. You get tired playing cards, then you start cleaning your gun, and the first thing you know, you've shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, dear, go upstairs and get that big box from your Aunt Martha's room.
Delighted.
How is Mrs. Brophy today?
Pneumonia.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Charge!
Hey, Colonel, you promised not to do that.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies.
I'll be right back.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors complain about him. It's a shame, a nice family like this hatching a cuckoo. The grandfather made $1 million, patent medicine.
Well, Officer Brophy and Dr. Harper, how nice.
Oh, hello, Miss Martha. I come to get the Christmas toys.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How is poor Mr. Benitsky?
Well, dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there, and he's going to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No, dear. I asked him, but he said it's against the rules of the hospital or something like that.
Oh. Teddy's here with the Army and Navy. Look.
Oh, thanks, Colonel. This will make a lot of kids happy.
Tin Hut,
Yes, sir, Colonel.
dismissed.
Yes, sir.
I shall retire to field headquarters. Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once, a long time ago, remember, Martha? We felt if he could be George Washington, it might be a change for him.
Oh, but he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
And we'd so much rather him be Mr. Roosevelt, but nobody.
Well, if he's happy, I better be running along.
Well, give our love to Elaine and Dr. Harper. Please don't think too harshly of Mortimer for being a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do these things.
Goodbye.
Did you just have tea, dear? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be late, too.
So, why?
Teddy!
Yes, Aunt Abby?
Good news for you. You're going to Panama and dig another lock for the canal.
Delighted. That's bully. Just bully. I shall prepare at once for the journey. Charge!
Abby, you mean there's...
Yes, dear.
While I was out?
Yes, dear. I just couldn't wait for you, and I didn't know when you'd be back.
But...
And Dr. Harper was coming.
Oh, but dear, all by yourself? Oh, I'll run right downstairs and see.
Oh, no, dear. There wasn't time.
Then where did you...
Martha, look in the window seat.
The window seat?
Go ahead, dear. Lift the lid.
Oh, Abby. Abby, isn't it just too delightful? Oh, and to think you managed it all by yourself.
Oh, ain't she sweet? See her walking down the street. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet?
We're almost home, Elaine. Now, make up your mind. Where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh, I don't really care, Mortimer, really.
Well, suppose we wait till after the show?
Well, that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight.
Oh, I was hoping it would be a musical. They seem to have a humanizing effect on you, darling.
Elaine, Elaine, where could we be married in a hurry? Say, tonight?
Well, I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
I'll bet your father could make even the marriage service sound pedestrian. Ah, here we are. The Brewster Mansion.
Thanks. Isn't that Teddy at the door?
Yes.
Well, what's he doing in shorts and a sun helmet?
Hello, Mortimer!
How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you. Just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this. Mr. President, the country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye.
Well, where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama!
Well.
Panama's the cellar. He digs locks for the canal down there.
Oh. Well, you're very sweet with him.
Teddy always was my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
There's another brother, Jonathan. We don't talk about him. He left Brooklyn very early, by request. Jonathan was the kind of boy who liked to cut worms in two with his teeth.
Well, what became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he wouldn't go to medical school first, and his practice got him into trouble.
Oh. Well, goodbye, darling. I'll run over and say goodnight to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back. I'll cut across the cemetery.
Hello, Mortimer.
Oh, hello, Aunt Abby. Did you see my chapter on Thoreau? I wanted to show it to Elaine.
No, I haven't seen it, dear. We thought you'd like a little something before you leave. Martha's getting a piece of Lady Baltimore cake. Ooh. Dr. Harper is here to tea, and he's concerned about Elaine going to the theater so much.
He'd love tonight's horror. Murder will out.
Oh, dear. Well, I think I'll open a bottle of wine. It'll be nice with the cake.
Yeah, I can see it all now. Same old thing. And when the curtain goes up... Now, where is that chapter? Now, the first thing you'll see, maybe in the window seat, will be a dead body. Sure, just like this one. Dead body! Huh? A dead body.
There is happy land far, far away. Lady Baltimore cake is so nice with a little wine, don't you think, dear?
Aunt Martha? Aunt Abby?
Yes, dear?
You told me you were going to make plans for Teddy to go to that, sanitarium, Happydale.
Yes, dear, it's all arranged.
Well, he's got to go
Teddy
right away.
has to sign the papers.
Well, he's got to go right away. He's got to sign those papers. Well, you've got to know sometime. I'm frightfully sorry, but I've got some shocking news for you, darlings. Teddy's killed a man.
Nonsense, dear.
But there's a body in that window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
Oh, well, wait, you know?
Now, Mortimer, just forget about it. Forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
We never dreamed you'd peek.
But who is he?
His name is Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
What's he doing here? Well, what happened to him?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men don't just get into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
Well, how?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
What? How did the poison get in the wine?
Well, we put it in the wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine.
Yes, and then I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
Oh, So you knew what you'd done, and you didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body?
Well, not at tea. That wouldn't have been very nice. Now you know the whole thing, Mortimer. Just forget about it. I do think Martha and I have the right to our own little secrets. Butter plates, Martha, butter plates.
Oh, yes, of course, dear. And, oh, Abby, while I was out, I did drop in on Mrs. Schultz. She's much better, yes, and she would like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Well, we must do that tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time we'll go where we want to go. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Aunt Martha, Aunt Abby, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in that window seat!
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Well, good heavens. It's not like I can turn you over to the police. What am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget the whole thing.
Forget? My dear Aunt Abby, can't I make you realize that something has to be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
But you can't leave him there.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear.
No, Teddy's down in Panama digging the lock.
You mean you're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Hoskins, dear. And, oh, yes, dear, of course. I mean, that's what we did with the others.
Oh, no, you can't bury Mr. But others?
Oh, yes, dear, the other gentlemen.
Now, when you say others, do you mean others? More than one others?
Well, yes. Let me see. This is 11, isn't it, Abby?
No, dear, this makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Abby. This is only 11.
No, dear, because I distinctly remember when Mr. Hoskins came through the door, he would make just an even dozen.
Well, you really shouldn't count the first one, dear.
Oh, well, I was counting the first one, so that makes it 12.
Hello? Oh.
12.
Hello?
11.
Oh, Al. Mike, it's good to hear you. Al. Oh, checking up? Well, no, I didn't pick up the tickets. Yeah, I'm glad you called. Now, get a hold of George right away. He's got to review the play for me. Now, let's see. Where were we? 12?
Yes. Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, and that makes it 12.
All right, now, all right. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist. He came here looking for a room.
He was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead, and it left him so forlorn and unhappy.
We felt so sorry for him.
And then when his heart attack came and he sat in that chair, looking so peaceful, remember, Martha?
Oh, yes.
We made up our minds right then and there that if we could help other lonely old men to the same peace, we would.
He dropped dead right in that chair. Oh, how awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. Well, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather always used to have a cadaver or two around the place.
Oh, I know, but he didn't exactly go making them himself. I
Well,
mean,
you
what
see,
do you...
Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
That meant he had to be buried immediately.
So we all took him down to Panama and put him in the lock.
And that's how it started.
Of course, we realized we couldn't depend on that happening again, so...
Well, you remember those jars of poison that have been up on the shelves in Grandfather's laboratory for all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her piccalilli.
Well, dear, for a gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, then add half a teaspoon of strychnine, and just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes, a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen found the time to say, "How delicious."
Yes, he did. Oh, well, we'll have to get things started in the kitchen for supper.
I wish you could stay, Mortimer.
I'm trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't eat a thing.
Hello, darling. Did I keep you waiting?
Oh, it's you. You run along home, Elaine. I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow? But we're going to the theater tonight.
Oh, no, we're not. Elaine, something's come up, and now you run along home.
Well, what's happened? Now, if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh, yes, I did. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Now, you run along home.
Listen, You can't propose to me one minute and throw me out of the house the next.
Well, I'm not throwing you out of the house, darling. Now, would you get out of here?
Mortimer! Mortimer!
Whew. Hello, Al? What? George is in Bermuda? Oh, well, get somebody. Get the office boy. You know, the bright one. The one we don't like. All right, then, get the printer. He knows what I write.
Was that Elaine, dear?
Aunt Martha and Abby, sit down.
But Mortimer.
Sit down! There.
Well, dear?
You can't do things like that. I don't know how to explain this to you, but, well, it's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
Well, what I mean is, well, this has developed into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try to stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello, Al? Oh, all right. I'll see the first act and tear it to pieces. Now, look, I've got to go to the theater, but promise me something before I go?
Well, we'd have to know what it was first.
Will you do this for me?
What do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house. And leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
We were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? He was a Methodist.
Well, can't that wait till I get back?
Oh, then you could join us. Oh, you'll so enjoy the services, especially the hymns. Martha, do you remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing as a child in the choir before his voice changed?
Oh, like an angel.
And remember, you're not going to let anyone in this house while I'm gone. Have you got some paper?
Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Oh, that'll be fine. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Come in, Doctor.
I'm right behind you, Johnny.
Well, this is the home of my youth.
Oh.
As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm so hungry. Oh, look, Johnny, drink. Elderberry wine.
A good omen.
Here's to you, Johnny. Who's that?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Why, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, it's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
But I'm Jonathan, your nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan, so don't pretend you are. Now you just get out of here.
But, Aunt Abby, I am Jonathan. And this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. He changes people's faces.
Abby? Abby, I've seen that face before. Oh, do you remember when we took the little Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face!
You see, Doctor? You see what you've done to me? Even my own family.
Johnny, you're home. These are your lovely aunts. They know you.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. Where have you been all these years?
Oh, England, South Africa, Australia, and the last 5 years, Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, We were in Chicago for the World Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago to be awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot for us too.
Well, it's wonderful to be in Brooklyn again. And you, Abby, Martha, you don't look a day older. Just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And dear Teddy, I remember him so high. Did he get into politics? You know, Doctor, my little brother was determined to become president.
Yeah?
Well, Jonathan, it's been very nice to have seen you again.
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Well, Martha, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Oh, yes, of course. If you'll excuse us, Jonathan?
Well, Johnny, where do we go from here? The police have pictures of that face. I've got to operate on you right away. Oh, we got to find some place for Mr. Spinazzo, too.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
But, Johnny, we got a hot stiff on our hands. You can't leave a dead body in Rumble's seat. Oh, you shouldn't have killed him, Johnny. He's a nice fellow. He gives us a lift, and what happens?
He said I looked like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
Now, Johnny, we find a place somewhere. I fix you up quick.
Tonight.
Johnny, I got to eat first. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're glad you remembered us and took the trouble to come in and say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it. So we've come in just to say goodbye.
But, Aunt Abby, I promised Dr. Einstein that if ever we came to Brooklyn, I'd bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Oh, Abby, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Pot roast.
I think the least we can do is
Thank
invite
you,
them.
Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, we'll hurry it along. And Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, why don't you use the washroom in your grandfather's old laboratory?
Is that still there?
Oh, yes. Come along, Martha. We're all in a hurry.
Grandfather's laboratory. Doctor, a perfect operating room.
Yeah, too bad we can't use it.
I'll handle this. Why, this house will be our headquarters for years.
You mean... Oh, that would be beautiful, Johnny. This nice, quiet house and those aunts of yours. Oh, what sweet ladies. I love them already. I get the bags from the car. Oh, it all comes true. A beautiful dream. It's so peaceful here.
That's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful.
Charge!
Oh, ain't she sweet? See you walking down the street. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet?
Fantastic. Players, the Ader Company season is almost over.
Our season's end brings us the musical family favorite, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma, and then finishes up with the rollicking dance comedy, Stepping Out. Hey, I'm kind of sad that this season is nearly over.
But wait, look here at this brochure. See? The Owen has just announced its new season.
What? Tell me what's coming up for the rest of 2015.
Well, let's see. Well, here's a classic, Bye Bye Birdie, and Moon Over Buffalo, both this fall. And for the holidays, listen to this, Meet Me in St. Louis.
Wait, let me see that. Wow, 2015 brings us The Hilarious Murder at Howard Johnson's and Shakespeare's timeless Romeo and Juliet. Wow, the unparalleled Chicago and the riveting Agatha Christie classic, The Mousetrap. It says here for more information on discount season tickets, go to owentheatre.com. That's OWENTHEATRE.com.
Be sure to join us as the hits just keep coming at the Owen Theatre.
My only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray.
Oh, Aunt Martha, you haven't lost any of your skill.
Why, thank you, Jonathan.
And now I know you and Dr. Einstein both want to get where you're going.
But my dear aunts, I'm so full of that delicious dinner, I just couldn't move a muscle.
Yeah, it's so nice here.
Well, after all, it's very late.
I found it! I found it!
Did you lose something, Teddy?
I found it! The story of my life, my biography. You see, here we are, both of us, President Roosevelt and General Goethals at Culebra Cut. That's me, General, and that is you.
My, how I've changed.
General, we will both go to Panama now to inspect the locks.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
Yeah, Panama's a long way off.
Nonsense. It's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yes, we let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General, as President of the United States, I demand that we inspect the locks immediately.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson, but your face is familiar. Let me see. Perhaps I meet you later on my hunting trip to Africa. Yes, you look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
Teddy.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
Oh, so that's it. A nature faker.
And perhaps you had better go to bed, Teddy. Jonathan and his friend have to go to their hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal.
But Johnny...
Inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Bully! Follow me, General.
Aunt Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. We have no hotel. We came directly here. This is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here.
Aunt Abby, you have a most distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
Oh, but he can't operate on you here.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. We're turning Grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be quite busy.
Hey, Johnny, down in the cellar.
Dr. Einstein, my dear aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Well, you're sleeping here tonight.
Aunt Abby, please get our room ready.
But...
Now.
Well, come along, Martha, dear.
Johnny, when I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
It's a whole teddy dog, 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Down there?
And it just fits Mr. Spanalzo.
Rather a good joke on my aunts. They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar. Come on, we'll bring it in through the window.
We were sailing along on Moonlight Bay. We could hear the voices ringing.
Poor dear Mr. Hoskins. He's been so patient in the window seat.
I think Teddy had better get Mr. Hoskins downstairs right away.
Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no. We'll wait until they've gone to bed, and then we'll come down later and hold services.
The General was very pleased. He says the canal
Teddy!
is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Oh, dear me. This will be a shock to the General. But I'll have to tell him. Army regulations, you know.
No, Teddy. We must keep it a secret.
Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Now, Teddy, you must take the poor gentleman down to the canal.
And we'll come down later and hold services.
You may announce that the President will say a few words. Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
Oh, seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before. Up we go. He died for his country. Open the cellar door, Aunt Abby.
Johnny? Johnny? Are you out there?
Wait, I'll lift up Mr. Spinalzo.
Wait, I can't see good, Johnny. It's so dark.
Oof! Ow! What happened?
Oh, someone left the window seat open. I fell in.
Well, get out and take Mr. Spinalzo.
I lost a leg.
Here.
Johnny, someone's coming.
Get him in the window seat. Quick.
All right, all right.
Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby, it's so dark in here.
Who are you?
Elaine Harper? I live next door.
Turn on the lights, Doctor.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha?
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein? Oh, I suppose you're going to tell me that you're Boris Karloff.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan?
Oh, you've heard of me.
Just this afternoon. Well, I'll be running along home now.
Oh, no. I think she's dangerous. She's seen us.
Oh, let her go, Johnny.
She saw us. Remember that.
Oh, stay away from me. Take your hands off of me. Oh, Teddy, tell these men who I am, please.
That's my daughter, Alice.
Oh, no.
Charge!
Doctor, your handkerchief.
Oh, help!
Get her down to the cellar. Quick.
What's going on down there? What are you doing?
We caught a burglar, a sneak thief. Go back to your room.
Johnny, look out, she got away.
Oh, let go of me.
Elaine?
Mortimer, where have you been?
At the Henry Miller Theater. But who's this?
This is your brother Jonathan.
Jonathan?
And this is Dr. Einstein.
Oh. You always were a horror, but do you have to look like one?
Mortimer, have you forgotten the things I used to do to you when we were boys? Remember the times you were tied to the bedpost? The needles under your fingernails?
It is Jonathan! Oh, I remember. I remember you as the most vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now don't you boys start quarreling again the minute you've seen each other.
Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out!
Well, I'm sleeping here tonight. In your room.
Johnny, maybe we better sleep down here, huh? On the window seat?
Window seat?
Window seat?
Window seat!
Oh, on the window seat. Well, maybe I'd better sleep down here.
Oh, we wouldn't want to trouble you. We insist on sleeping down here. Doctor, we'll go up and get our bags.
Mortimer,
What's the matter with you, dear?
I have almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby! Martha!
Oh, no. It was Jonathan.
He mistook her for a sneak thief. Would you like some coffee, dear?
We'll get it ready. Come, Abby.
No wine.
Oh, no, dear. No.
Well, I'm sorry I'm so late, Elaine, but it's after 12 and I... 12! Elaine, you've got to go home.
What? Mortimer, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
Oh, I love you very much, Elaine. I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
Oh, I don't think so, but it's just a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops.
Now, Teddy, just because Teddy is a little crazy, it doesn't mean that you're going to be the same.
No. It goes way back. The first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower, you know how in those days the Indians used to scalp the settlers? He used to scalp the Indians.
But, darling, this doesn't prove that you're crazy. Well, look at your aunts. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I have ever known.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Mortimer, you are not even looking at me. Now come away from that window seat.
Ah! Another one. Elaine, you've got to go. Something very important has just come up.
Up? From where? We're here alone together.
Elaine, if you love me, will you get the devil out of here?
Mortimer, will you kiss me good night?
Oh, why, of course, darling. Quickly. Well, good night, dear. I'll call you in a day or two.
You critic!
Aunt Martha and Abby, come in here.
Yes, dear? What is it? Where's Elaine?
You promised me... Who is that in the window seat?
No one, dear.
Look. And it is not Mr. Hoskins.
Well, who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen that man before?
I certainly am.
Now, Aunt Abby, don't try to get out of this. That is another of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? That man is an impostor, and if he came here to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
But Aunt Abby, you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat. Now, this man couldn't have just gotten the idea from him. And by the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
In Panama, waiting for the services. Poor dear. We haven't had a minute with Jonathan in the house. Oh, dear. We always wanted to have a double funeral, but I will not read services over a total stranger.
A stranger? Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men down in the cellar, and you admit you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I'd stoop to telling a fib?
Jonathan, I want a word with you. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, I think Jonathan is leaving at once.
Oh, no, Mortimer.
Oh, yes. And you're taking your cold companion with you. The one from the window seat?
The window seat.
You're my brother. And I'm going to give you a chance to get away. And if you don't take it, I'm going to call the police.
Mortimer, remember, what happened to Mr. Spinalzo can happen to you, too.
Oh, dear. Come in. Why, Officer Brophy.
Hello, Miss Martha, Miss Abby. I saw your lights on, and I thought there might be sickness in the family.
Oh, come in, officer. This is my brother Jonathan.
No, if everything's all right.
Oh, don't go, officer. Stay and have some coffee and a sandwich.
Well, if you say so.
Yeah, we'll all go into the kitchen while Jonathan collects his things. All his things. Come along, officer.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and me has got to be settled.
Now, Johnny,
We're going to sleep right here tonight.
with a cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinalzo in the window seat?
That's all he's got on us. So we take Mr. Spinalzo down and we dump him in the bay and come right back here. Hide the suitcases in the cellar. Go on.
Johnny, come quick.
What is it?
That hole in the cellar. We got an ace in the hole. Look.
Oh, still here, Jonathan? Now, I thought I told you
We're
that you
staying.
You think I was bluffing? You think I won't tell Officer Brophy what's in the window seat? Officer Brophy!
If you tell Brophy what's in the window seat, I'll tell him what's in the cellar.
The cellar?
There's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be very dead.
What were you doing in the cellar?
What's he doing in the cellar?
No, thank you, ma'am. That's all the coffee I can drink. Oh, Mr. Brewster, I'd like to tell you the plot of the play I'm writing.
No, Brophy, no. You can't stay here. You've got to call in. You've got to go and
but I
call
want
in.
to tell you about this here play.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it later. I'll meet you at Kelly's later.
Is that you, Mortimer?
It's Jonathan, Aunt Abby.
Where
Mortimer
are
went out.
you going?
To Panama, to bury Mr. Spinalzo.
But he can't stay in our cellar.
There's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him. He and Mr. Spinalzo will get along fine together. They're both dead.
Ooh, they must mean Mr. Hoskins.
You know about what's downstairs.
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman.
Besides, there's no room for Mr. Spinalzo. The cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
And that leaves very little room, and we're going to need it.
You mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered...
Murdered? Murdered? Certainly not. This is one of our charities. So you take your Mr. Spinalzo out of there.
You've done that here in this house, and you've buried them down there.
Johnny, we've been chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do.
What?
You got 12, and they got 12.
I've got 13.
Oh, you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have got pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, You got 12, and they got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
Oh, they are they? Well, that's easily taken care of. All I need is one more, that's all. Just one more.
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been over getting a doctor's signature for Teddy's papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this.
Do you know what Jonathan is doing down there?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo in together.
Well, let him. Is Teddy in his room?
Oh, Teddy won't be any help.
Well, you had to go and tell Jonathan about those 12 graves. Now, if I can make Teddy responsible for those, I can protect you. Can't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes to have the police protect us. We'll call them.
No, you can't. They'll find out about Mr. Hoskins and the other 12 gentlemen.
Mortimer, I don't think that they would pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
No, you can't do this. I won't let you.
Well, if Jonathan and Mr. Spinalzo are not gone by morning, I'm going to call the police.
You have stolen my heart. Don't go away. As we sang love's old sweet song on Moonlight Bay.
There. It's all done, Johnny. Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo all put away neat and tidy. We're all done.
You're forgetting, Doctor, my brother Mortimer.
No, Johnny, no. Tonight, we do that tomorrow or the next day.
No, tonight. Now.
No, Johnny, please. I'm tired. And tomorrow I got to operate. Not tonight. We go to bed, huh?
We operate tonight, Doctor. On Brother Mortimer.
My bugle! Mortimer, hand me my bugle!
No, Mr. President, now just sign these papers.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be a secret.
A secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Oh, Japan, eh? I'll sign it right away. I'll take it into the closet. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
Ah, thank you, Mr. President. Now make sure you sign it right away, because you get...
Close the door, Doctor. Now won't you sit down, Mortimer? There, tight and neat. Now, Doctor, your instruments. We go to work.
Oh, please, Johnny. For me, do it the quick way.
All ready for you, Doctor.
I got to have a drink. I can't do this without a drink. Oh, that wine. Remember this afternoon? Where did the old lady put... Oh, here. Oh, elderberry wine. I split it with you. We both need a drink.
Very well, Doctor. We'll drink to Mortimer. To my dear dead brother.
God in Himmel!
Cabinet meeting on the double!
That idiot! He goes next.
No, not Teddy. That's where I stop. I draw the line at Teddy.
Now we've got to work fast. Hey, the Colonel's got to stop blowing that horn. Oh, hey, Mr. Brewster. Why are you all tied up?
He was explaining the play he saw tonight. That's what happened to the fella in the play.
Oh, yeah? Gee, they practically stole that from the second act of my play. I'll tell you about it. No, wait a minute. I'm gonna leave you this way. This time, Mr. Brewster, you'll listen to the plot. Well, it starts in me mother's dressing room, where I was born, only I ain't born yet.
Oh, ain't she nice? Looked her over once or twice. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she nice?
Then we get back to me mother. There she is, lying unconscious in her lingerie. The fiend is standing over her with an axe. There, how do you like it so far, huh, Doctor?
Well, it put Johnny to sleep.
Oh, that's just the second act. Now the third act.
Johnny, wake up. Oh, I can't wake him.
Hey, what's going on in here?
Johnny, it's cops.
Brophy?
Oh, hiya, Lieutenant. This is Mortimer Brewster. He's gonna help me write me play.
Hey, do yous have to tie him up to make him listen? The whole precinct is out looking for yous. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Give me the phone and untie him. Hey, gee, Mr. Brewster.
Gee, Mr. Brewster, I'll have to run through the third act quick.
Hello, Captain. Yeah, Brophy's here. Yeah, you don't have to worry. Yeah, we found him at the Brewster house. So yous can call off the big manhunt. You wants us to bring him in?
Manhunt. Oh, so I've been turned in, eh? I suppose you and that stool pigeon brother of mine will split the reward.
Reward? Grab him, Brophy!
Now I'll do some turning in. There are 13 bodies buried in our cellar.
Oh, yeah?
I'll show you. You come on down to the cellar with me. 13 bodies.
Maybe you better go down, Joe.
With him? Not me. He looks like Boris Karloff. Oh, get him off me, Rooney. Help me! Help me!
Get your head out of the way!
Oh. Whew. Well, what do you know about that? Imagine him claiming there was 13 bodies buried in the cellar. Huh.
Get him out of here.
I'll take him into the kitchen.
What a story. 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
Sir, there are 13 bodies buried in our cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
Hey, what is this? Hey, didn't anybody untie you yet? Oh, here, I'll do it.
Now, Lieutenant, listen to me. We have
This crazy brother of yours has got to be put away. We don't want no more bugles blowing.
Yes, I know. I have the papers right here. Teddy's going to Happydale. Now, about those 13 bodies...
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story got around? It's lucky I didn't fall for it. 13 bodies.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
I beg your pardon. I'm Mr. Witherspoon of Happydale. I believe I am to pick up a gentleman.
Oh. Teddy!
Just finished my cabinet meeting. Yes, Mortimer?
Mr. President, I have some very good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Oh, then I start on my hunting trip to Africa, don't I?
Well, this is Mr. Witherspoon. He's your guide for Africa.
Oh, bully. Glad to meet you, sir. Aunt Martha, Aunt Abby, I'm on my way to Africa. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, if the safari comes, tell them to wait. Charge!
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, this is Mr. Witherspoon from Happydale. Teddy's going with him.
No, he is not.
Not while we are alive.
The police want him to go. He blew his bugle again.
Well, if he goes, then we're going with him.
Yes, we won't be separated from Teddy.
Oh, but we cannot take sane people at Happydale.
Well, Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can they sign the papers?
Oh, well, certainly.
Oh, well then, if we can go with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Oh my, we've overlooked one thing. We're going to need the signature of a doctor.
A doctor? Oh, yes, a doctor. Dr. Einstein.
Me?
Come over here. We'd like you to sign some papers.
Please, I must go.
No, just come right over here, Doctor.
Oh, please.
Yes, Doctor, just come right over here now.
Aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
There's your signature, and I don't think we're going to the same place.
There now. Everything's quite in order.
Are you leaving us, Doctor?
Well, I don't think they're going to the same place, Aunt Martha.
Yes. It seems everything is quite in order. Thank you.
Well, I'm almost relieved, but I'm really looking forward to going. The neighborhood really here has run down just so. Well, Mortimer, we're all ready to go now. The house will be yours, and we want you to live in it.
Oh, no, Aunt Abby. The house is too full of memories.
Oh, dear, but you'll need a house to live in when you're married.
Oh, I'm afraid I can't ever marry Elaine, or anybody.
Oh, there's something else, Mortimer. You signed the papers as our next of kin.
Well, of course, why not?
But you see, dear, well, you're not really a Brewster.
Not a Brewster?
No, dear. Your mother was a widow when she came to us as a cook, and you were born about 3 months later. And she was such a good cook, though we didn't want to lose her, so Brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster?
Now, don't feel badly about it, dear.
No. Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, it's a tragedy, isn't it? Nobody knows who your father is.
He might be anybody.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, isn't it wonderful? He might be anybody. Oh, I've got to tell Elaine. He might be anybody.
All right, Jonathan, come on.
I'm coming. Goodbye, aunties. So this house is seeing the last of the Brewsters. Well, I can't better my record now, but neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. The score stands even, 12-12.
Jonathan always was a mean boy. He never could stand to see anybody get ahead of him.
I wish we could show him he isn't so smart.
Well, ladies, perhaps we'd better be going.
Martha?
Yes, Abby? Oh, yes. Mr. Witherspoon, does your family live with you at Happydale?
No, I have no family.
Oh, that must make it very lonely for you.
I suppose it does.
Well, Martha?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Witherspoon, I think that we should at least offer you a glass of elderberry wine.
Well, you don't see much elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I'd had my last glass of it.
Oh, no.
Here it is.
Well, ladies, to a long life.
Shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July.
Thank you for joining us during this hysterical episode of the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour, right here in the Owen Theater. Special thanks go to director Orvis Melvin and the cast and crew of Oklahoma for letting us borrow their stage tonight. Tickets are already on sale for this timeless musical, opening Friday, May 8th. More details on tickets and our Players Theater Company season can be found at owentheater.com. Tonight's technical credits go to Dick Schistler as sound engineer, who also acted as producer for Lone Star Internet Radio. Our sound effects were performed live and from scratch, without the use of recordings by the entire cast. Tonight's music on ukulele was performed by Martin Shotwell. Commercial announcers included Darrell Egley and yours truly, Dennis Nelson. And tonight's episode was directed by Diana Egley. Series producer on behalf of the Players Theater Company was Timothy Eggert. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour was created by Craig Campobella and Dick Schistler exclusively for the Players Theater Company. This episode of the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour was performed live in the Owen Theater in partnership with Lone Star Internet Radio in Conroe, Texas on April 19th, 2015, and it was recorded for encore broadcasts. Visit irlonestar.com every month for freshly archived programs like Spellbound, which is now available on demand for your listening pleasure. If you are an actor in the Conroe or Greater Houston area, you are invited to audition for our next episode. The audition will be in the Owen Theater on Monday, May 4th. Check theplayerstc.com for more information. This upcoming production is the classic radio comedy Fibber McGee and Molly, airing live from the Owen Theater on Sunday, May 17th at 7 p.m. In the meantime, be sure to listen for us every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on Lone Star Internet Radio. Thank you again so very much for joining us. From the glittering Arts District of downtown Conroe, Texas, we wish you a very pleasant evening.
Thanks for listening to Lone Star Radio Hour here on Lone Star Community Radio. Don't forget, the Lone Star Radio Hour airs every Sunday at 7 p.m. on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you want to join and be part of the Lone Star Radio Hour with your own radio play, contact us today at lscrstudios at gmail.com. We are also looking for support for this time slot, so if you're interested in sponsoring this time slot, contact us again at lscrstudios at gmail.com. And don't forget, this radio play was brought to you by the Players Theater Company in Conroe, Texas. For more information about the Players, please check them out online at owentheater.com/players.